All right, I think we will go ahead and get started. Jules and Lindsay, I think I have you with me here.
Yep. Good morning, Sadie.
Okay. I'm going to turn my video on. We're going to do some introductions here. Hello, everybody. Well, welcome to our webinar today. I am Sadie Werflein. I am the community manager here at Mortarr, and I have a few friends here with me.
Hi, I'm Lindsey Rogers. I'm a customer success manager here at Mortarr.
And I am Juliana Argis. I'm the social strategist here at Mortarr.
Awesome. Thanks for joining today. So the subject of our webinar today is about really surrounding our customer success managers. So before we jump in, just as you saw on the previous slide, if you didn't see this, you can see our video now. We just wanted to pop in and say hello before we dive in, but your video is turned off, you're on mute, and our chat and our Q&A are live. And so Jules is going to be monitoring that throughout the webinar today. So as you have questions, please submit them through there and we'll try to address them as we go. And then we'll also make sure that we save a few moments at the end to answer any questions we haven't been able to address. So that's great. And then really you're going to be hearing most from myself and Lindsay on the subject today. So our goal at Mortarr is to get our customers found by the right audience. And by customers, we mean the companies who are showcasing their work on our site. So in order to do that, in order to ensure that they're being found by the most suitable audience for the products and the services that they provide, we work really hard with them to get that content properly set up in their profile and managed in their profile. And it is a big part of that, a big portion of that is done by our customer success manager for our premium subscribers. So that's what we are going to be talking about today. So I do have a visual. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to shut our video off, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you guys we're going to just kind of talk through these items as we go through the conversation today. So I'm going to share that and stop my video. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome.
And then Sadie, I wanted to ask you too, so you mentioned our premium subscriptions. Can you explain the difference between subscriptions on Mortarr?
Yeah, most definitely. So that's a great question. So on Mortarr, our companies in the commercial construction and design industry, they're displaying their work to our audience of a peer commercial audience, and they can do that through their company profile, which to go to your question is they have two different options, excuse me, with their company profiles. So you can either be set up as a basic profile with a basic profile on our site, or you can be a premium. So our basic option is just a great way to kind of get your feet wet. This is a do-it-yourself option, and it allows companies to show off just a limited number of projects and images within their profile. And then our premium subscription is really our unlimited content option. So companies under premium, they can show off an unlimited amount of projects, photos, and there's no maximum amount that they can put in there, no maximum to their keywords, tags, etc., that they can put into their company profile. So along with that, they are assigned a dedicated customer success manager, such as Lindsay, who's on the call with us today. And we're going to be digging into Lindsay's role specifically today. So that said, the role of the CSM can be kind of diverse depending on the preferences of the company, the particular company that they're working with. The customer success manager really works in tandem with the contact or the contact people at that company. And most often those contacts are in a marketing seat, maybe some sort of a digital content seat, and they work together with the CSM at Mortarr to populate and to manage that profile. And again, the level of work and involvement by the CSM is just really a matter of that company's preference. So yeah, let's jump into it and let's take a look at the different facets of service that our CSMs provide. I'm going to use this visual today to help guide us through our conversation about the different elements of the CSM's role, but I want to point out that this is not a timeline or a flow chart, meaning these things don't necessarily have to happen in this order. So many of these elements are ongoing. We find them to be repeating. So it's important just to point out the CSM's role and tasks. They're not just around the implementation, the setup, or the rollout of the profile. Well, that's initially going to be their primary focus. The company, once a company is all settled into Mortarr and their profile is up and running, that CSM, their role is going to continue, and it's going to evolve as the content within their profile evolves and the demand for within their profile evolves. So Lindsey, I think to get things started, let's see if I can, excuse me here. There we go. I know I had some color that was just to try to move through this this visual. Let's start with the planning aspect of the profile and the relationship that a CSM has with their subscriber. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So with planning, that truly is establishing clear goals and milestones. And with the planning part, just talking about like the initial meeting that we'll have with a new subscriber is we want to know the goals and the expectations that you, the subscriber, have for Mortarr. And by doing this, then it's easier for us to kind of plan out what your first quarter here on Mortarr looks like, what your first year here on Mortarr looks like. We'll do that with strategic planning just to ensure that the profile is set up to truly promote the correct services and products that your company offers too.
That's awesome. And sorry to interrupt, but that does include, in addition to like just the actual profile presence on Mortarr, that would also include our Mortarr Plus, correct, Lindsey?
Yes. So this is to, our Mortarr Plus opportunities. We want to make sure that we kind of bake these in to your time here at Mortarr as well. So that's why we'll plan that out too. If you have, let's just say, for instance, like you have a new product rolling out or, a new project that you'll have completed, we can actually plan Mortarr Plus opportunities around what your company has going on.
Great. And just to give our listeners a better understanding, Mortarr Plus, we're actually talking about, it's essentially our media kit. So there's a package of different, or a variety of different opportunities that we sometimes package together. It could be featured placement within the site. It could be featuring you for specific industries or sectors you want to be found for. And oftentimes it includes promotion on our social media platforms or through email marketing, our forum, which is our content hub. So a lot of different ways that we can help promote you in addition to just the presence on the platform itself.
Exactly. And Sadie, you had touched on before that what we're looking at isn't actually like a timeline. We kind of touch on all of these throughout your time here at Mortarr. And when it comes to that too with planning, we do frequent planning discussions. I mean, whether that be monthly, quarterly, or even just via email, we'll always touch base to ensure that goals and expectations are determined, and then we can actually meet those too.
Excellent. So from here, Lindsey, let's move on to research. So here we have conducting and applying market research. Talk a little bit about the CSM's role and how you're working research into what you're doing with your accounts.
Sure. So with research, this is where we're conducting and applying any of that market research. And, we had our planning meetings. So now we know more about your company, your goals, and what you have going on, and especially what your projects look like. So we'll do research, even here on Mortarr, we'll do research. So if you have a project that you've completed, we'll actually be able to determine if any of the other subcontractors, brands, whatever that might be, may have also worked on that project and actually uploaded it into their own profile here on the platform. So we'll do that kind of research, just kind of cross-referencing. But we also do research, out on the web too, so through Google. So there are plenty of times where maybe you've completed like a specific project, like a library or something like that. We'll actually be able to do as much research as we can to get fresh content here in your profile, but also on the platform as well.
Great. And I'm not sure if you saw, I kind of switched windows here. I wanted to go over to the site here. Lindsey, can you see this?
Yep, I can see that. So perfect. This, Pella Windows and Doors public library that they worked on. So this information that you see in here, Sadie just clicked on a brand tag. We've actually populated that on behalf of this premium subscriber. So all of the details on there, you can see the architect. We have a couple other project contributors on there as well. So we've actually assisted to populate that. And we do that not only through conversations and emails that we have with, Pella Windows, for instance, but like I was saying, our own research that we do on the Mortarr platform, but also through Google and, other ways like that.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to kind of give a visual of how that looks as that data is populated into the images and into the projects.
Yes.
Great. So from there, let's move on to creation. So the actual setup and optimization of the subscriber's profile on the site.
Yeah, so with creation, this is where we're actually building the profile, and I'd have to say probably one of my favorite parts. And this is when we actually get to put all of the information that we've gathered through meetings with the subscriber, our own research, and put them into the profile and make sure that it's optimized. And, we've already, so we're pulling this information directly through a subscriber's website, and we do that in hopes of capturing SEO efforts that are already in place through your company and your own marketing department. So, we like to get that original content that you've already used and kind of relay that message into your profile here on Mortarr. And it's truly just an extension of what you've already done. But here on Mortarr, as Sadie touched on before, this is a pure commercial audience that now you're in front of.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think it's important to touch on, you mentioned the SEO. A lot of the companies who are represented on Mortarr, they do have a focus on digital marketing, and many of them are already working through many of their own search engine optimization goals and targets. And when we create your Mortarr profile, we're very intentional with the content that we're putting in so that what we're doing is really cohesive with what you're already doing. So we're capturing those same terms and phrases. We're going to be linking, of course, your profile to your own website, as you can see here, your social pages, and then in turn, our subscribers also link from their website to their Mortarr profile. All of this is going to boost the SEO value that you're actually, that you're seeing on your own side for your own site and your company's presence online. So,
and I have to say too, through conversations I've had with the subscribers I work with, is they don't even realize the SEO power they already hold on the internet until we get to talking about it and relay that message into their Mortarr profile. So it's just great information to have in general.
Great. Yep. And so what I've done here is I've just kind of popped over to a company profile to give you an example. This is a profile that I know Lindsey actually personally works on. And so all of this information she worked to populate. This is the company page. I'm going to toggle over to their showroom feed. These are the different showrooms that Lindsey has worked with this company to populate. To get as much information and as many images in here and tags as possible to show the details of the work that they're displaying here. So just popping in, you can see, she's included descriptions, tagged other companies that have worked on the projects, making sure to give credit to the photographers who captured these images. And then within each image, of course, you can find the information tagging the specific products by this company that are being showcased. So again, just some examples of that actual profile creation, the setup, and then the optimization that really includes all of the SEO efforts and the tagging and all of those fun things that we're building in along the way.
Yeah, and when it comes to creating the company profile, now that this company, for instance, is premium, they come with my services, but they also have unlimited projects and showrooms that they can upload. And we truly, as a CSM, we do all of that work on your behalf. So sometimes I feel like when you look at something like that, they have 23 showrooms with like 20 images each. And we actually put all of that work together to showcase that project on your behalf.
Absolutely. And we always say, we always like to say that with the CSM, you really get the gift of time. So
Yeah.
the actual process of building those projects out, putting those photos in, it's nothing technical that you need a technical background in order to complete. It's just one more thing that we can take off your plate. And so we really want Mortarr to be an efficient marketing tool for you and for your company. And that's why we've built that into our premium subscription.
Yeah.
So here I've moved back to our visual here, and now let's move on to search, Lindsay. Let's talk about how the CSM helps to get that company found by the relevant searches that are happening on Mortarr and really even off Mortarr.
Sure. So, so as your CSM, I mean, truly, we work with this platform day in and day out, and we're truly the expert of all things Mortarr, and we know the relevant searches that take place. So, we do this. So you're getting found for relevant searches through all the unique content that we've already put into your profile, and through different keywords that we're optimizing in all of your images and all of your projects.
Yep. So I think it's important to point out that within each photo that you load to Mortarr, some of you listening, I think, probably have a company profile on Mortarr, whether it's a basic or a premium. And so your experience with adding photos, you know that every photo has data tied to it that ties right to, of course, our filtering options that you can find for people who are searching within the site. But then also we have a couple different keyword fields where we're able to put in those strategic keywords that we've been talking about. So Lindsay and her team, our team of CSMs, they look at that photo and they make sure that, you know, they're incorporating the right keywords so that that photo is coming up for the best searches. So our users have a great, just a great relevant and useful experience on Mortarr.
Yep, and then Mortarr's own marketing team too does pull information from Google on most search keywords and phrases. So that's where we get a lot of that information from, and that's how we apply it to what it is that you, the subscriber, does and the products and projects that you do and that you offer. So,
yep, absolutely. And so from there, let's move on to promotions. So Lindsay, let's talk about how you and your team work with the content with your companies to make sure that they're being found and in the best places on our site, and that we're promoting their services and their products in the best ways.
So with this promotion part of it, a key to this is through all the planning and research that we've already done, and through you know, those meetings and emails that we've sent back and forth. So featured placement, for instance, is part of that Mortarr Plus package. And this is how we're able to determine what it is that you'd like to be found for, and how we can place you not only on the Mortarr homepage, but strategically throughout, you know, different searches that take place on Mortarr, and through the inspiration feed, which is like our photo feed, and one of the most used areas of the Mortarr platform.
Yep, so I'm just kind of scrolling through and giving you an idea. All of these images that we're seeing on our homepage, these come directly from our subscribers' profiles. So all of our advertising on Mortarr is completely native. So you can click into any one of these images and it's going to take you to that company's profile, to that project. You can learn more about it. So the CSM team, they're the ones who decide. They work with our subscribers and our marketing team to decide what photos are being featured in what places, and that's going to be based on, of course, the demand of our audience, and then also the need of those specific companies that they're working with.
Yep.
So.
And that's why those those quarterly planning meetings, or even just quick emails back and forth to each other, become so beneficial, so that we're on the same page that you are, and we can get you found for what it is that you'd like to focus on, even if it's just for that quarter.
Absolutely. And so from there, Lindsay, let's move on to education, providing resources and advice, best practices for your subscribers. Let's talk a little bit about how you stay connected with your subscribers and share these different resources with them.
Sure. So when it comes to education, your CSM is your go-to for anything you'd like to know or learn more about. So whether it be, you know, new updates that we make to the Mortarr platform, which do happen frequently, we're your go-to for that. We also have a learning lounge here on Mortarr as well, and it's truly just like a resource hub for anything that you'd like to know, whether it be, you know, the benefits of photo quality. here on Mortarr, or if you just like to learn more about different features that are offered through a premium profile, our Learning Lounge is truly such a great place to go to get that information. We have quick videos, things like that, just so you can learn what it is that you'd like on your time frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that it's important to talk about the different assets that we make available for our subscribers as well. So any company subscribing to Mortarr, again, whether you're basic or premium, we have some different marketing assets that live actually right out on our Learning Lounge. So for example, if you have a profile in Mortarr, you're going to want to make sure that you have featured our social icon on your own website, and that's linking directly to your company's profile on Mortarr. As I mentioned earlier, that's going to dramatically help your own SEO ranking for your own website, having that quality backlink that goes to very similar content on another site, hosted by another site. So that asset package lives out there. We have a variety of different styles and colors for the icons that are included with that, and there's direction around that. So that's just one example of the type of content that lives out there. Anybody can go out and find those. If you're a basic profile, I'd really encourage you to do that. If you're a premium, or if you have a basic profile, if you have a premium profile in the site, odds are Lindsey or your dedicated CSM has already shared this directly with you as a link, or just even selected the exact icon that matches your company's styling that you have on your website. So these are some of the different assets that we want to make sure are readily available to our subscribers. We also have some pre-made social content out there. So maybe you want to announce your company's presence on Mortarr, or even just highlight that presence through about maybe a new project that you've posted on social media. We have some pre-made graphics and some kind of copy and paste verbiage that you're free to use. We know that all of those responsible for managing social media are always looking for content. So these are some of the ways that we work to support our subscribers. Our premium subscribers, we even go a little bit deeper than that, and our team further customizes content if they're interested in that, and works with the graphics for their projects that they want to highlight. So all of this kind of goes around, I'm grouping it in education, but really just those resources that we're providing to you.
Well, and then, before we move on to the next one, I just want to say your CSM is just an email away, such a quick way to get more information and reference, anything it is that you'd like to know about your profile, SEO, or what's available. Just send a quick email and we're always here to support.
Absolutely. And then quickly, I know we're getting close to the end of our half an hour here, and I want to make sure we leave a few minutes for questions, but let's talk about maintenance, Lindsey. So
Sure.
We know that once we get their profile initially populated and their projects built in, we know that things change. And so talk about how you support your subscribers on an ongoing basis with the maintenance of their profile.
Yep. So your CSM truly maintains your profile, and we are typically the ones that reach out to you with questions. So when it says keeping it fresh for target prospects, we're doing that by always being involved with what your company has going on, whether it be just simply following you on social media, or setting up Google alerts, or just even being a part of your company newsletter. We get that information and we take it to see how we can always keep your profile fresh. Like I mentioned before, we do try to meet, regularly. Maybe it's, each quarter, or just sending a quick email. But that's where we like to discuss, what you'd like to see in your profile always moving forward. We try to be, very involved in your profile as you continue on Mortarr, whether it be conducting new research on projects you already have. How can we put fresh content into all of your projects, and how can we better relay the message of your company to those visiting the Mortarr platform?
Yep, and I think you mentioned this earlier, but our CSMs are really aware of the companies that are showcasing work on Mortarr. So as new companies are coming in, or even existing companies are adding additional projects, they always have their eyes peeled for the products or similar projects where we're able to take advantage of that cross-tagging.
Yes.
And that's really powerful. So if we know that you've partnered with a certain company and they've added some projects, and maybe those projects aren't represented on your profile, it wouldn't be uncommon that your CSM would reach out and say, hey, did you guys work on this? If so, I want to make sure that we're doing some tagging and getting you guys linked up. So
Yep.
just some examples of how we maintain that content.
And our entire CSM team, I mean, we're in the Mortarr platform, like I said before, all day. So we know the projects that are coming in and the subscribers that are newly joining the platform, and we share that information with each other. So, you know, we're a close-knit team, although working remote right now, but we're definitely still close. We're in contact all day, every day, and making sure that our subscribers are being optimized on the platform the best way that we possibly can.
Absolutely. And then last, let's touch on measurement before we check to see if we have any questions.
Sure. So when it comes to measurement, so we monitor, as a CSM, we monitor your profile just to make sure that the goals and the milestones that we set previously are being met. And we like to do this with the subscribers so that you can see, you know, how things are either falling or how they're, you know, maybe you have one project that's doing incredibly well, but we'll only know that if we can kind of get together and just look at the measurement and the analytics reporting and planning of your profile. So we are the ones that kind of keep your company on track, and then we work together to make sure that those goals are being met.
Yeah, so we'll keep a beat on the traffic that you're receiving on your profile, on your specific projects that are posted or specific images that are posted, and then we'll look at, you know, what's working, what's not working, and make sure that we're in direct contact with our companies about how we're going to address that and how we're going to keep that momentum moving on an ongoing basis.
Yep, and your CSM, we're always looking at how your profile is performing, just so that if something needs to be adjusted, then we have the opportunity to do that.
Great. So this has been really helpful. Lindsey, thanks for helping me talk through this. Before we let everybody go, Jules, I just wanted to check in with you. I don't know, do we have any questions?
Yeah, it looks like we have two. I'll start with this one. It says, I noticed a BIM tag on the Pella profile. Is that something that the CSM can set up for us?
Yep, and I can actually, this is Lindsey, I can actually answer that. So that is something that your CSM will do for you. So when it comes to keeping your profile fresh, especially when it comes to updates that we do on the Mortarr platform, we'll do that for you and then educate you about it as well. So just so you're aware of what's going on and what your profile looks like now.
Yep, and I did just want to make sure to show exactly what that question was regarding. So you can see here within this product tag, one of the strategic partnerships that we have is with BIM Object. And so we're able to link directly to the BIM file and other technical files that this subscriber, Pella Windows and Doors, has on the BIM Object platform. So this is just a one-click over to this particular product within their BIM profile. So we have a couple other strategic partnerships that you'll find, or that you'll notice. We have one with Material Bank that allows designers to request samples. And again, we populate that for our subscribers, as well as you'll notice here, these other resources within this tag, download the specifications. This more product info is a link to a specifically a product page for Pella Windows and Doors. And the CSM will populate all of that information for our subscribers. So good question. Awesome. Any other questions, Lindsey? Sorry, Jules.
No, it's great. We've got one more. If a company we've worked with on a project isn't on Mortarr, how do we get them tagged so they are notified that we've uploaded that project, that new project?
Oh, another great question, and I should probably not have toggled away from the site. I'm going to actually go right back. Lindsey, do you want to answer that, or do you want me to answer it?
I can answer that. So if you worked with a company that's not yet on Mortarr, we can actually still add them to the project contributors. They'll just be, as you can see here, Sadie's showing you what this project looks like, and you can see those grayed out companies, and those companies are not yet on Mortarr. And what we'll do is when we add them in there, you'll see there's an opportunity to connect with them. And we'll do a little bit of research just to get the email address for that company and send them over a tagging request, which just shows them that they were recently tagged in this project. You know, if you want to be a part of it, click here, and it takes them back to the Mortarr website.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Good questions.
Yeah. That's all I have so far.
Great. Okay. So I'm just going to go back here. We have our contact information included on this page. Please feel free to take that down for Lindsey, for myself. You probably also have Juliana's contact information from registering for this webinar. Please feel free to reach out to any one of us anytime if we can answer additional questions. If you would like to, if anybody on the call is interested in learning more about a premium subscription, we're of course happy to talk with you about that, or answer any of your questions in general about Mortarr and the fun things that we have going on over here. So these are really my closing thoughts. Lindsey, did you have, or Juliana, anything that you guys wanted to add in closing before we jump off today?
You know, just that your CSM, when I say that we're here to support you, we truly are. So feel free, you know, we love emails and phone calls, even for the smallest question, always feel free to reach out to us. We're available. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us today. And encourage them to join us on social media channels. Feel free to reach out there as well. I'm always monitoring those and can help answer questions or at least direct you to the right person. So head on over to mortarr.com, check us out on our social channels, connect with us any way that works for you. We look forward to hearing from any of you anytime in the future. So yeah, thank you again, everybody, and have a great day.